Hey folks, welcome back to another Pokemon Massive video, and today let's talk a bit about the 5-star Pokefair Select Scout over here. And we'll talk about this one first. We'll talk about the anniversary one in a separate one. But yeah, they dropped this Pokefair Select Scout as they usually do on anniversary, and as usual it is paid gems. So if you don't have them, obviously you could. Well, I mean, you're still welcome to watch the video if you want to just get my opinions on the units themselves. But yeah, if you do have the extra coins, I do recommend this one, just because for only 5k gems, which is not even like 2 multis, you're guaranteed to get one of these. And this pool is very, very good, man. Like, holy, just look at, like, you got SS Diantha, right? Emma, you have Victor, SS Brendan, Ingo, and then, well, SS Leon, but you know, at least the decent amount of these are incredibly powerful. Pretty recent too, right? I mean, SS Diantha and Emma, they were just, earlier this year from the Kalos, the Kalos villain arc, right? And yeah, they're very, very, very good. So again, let's just quickly go over these units, I guess. This is my second time recording, because first time after I recorded it, the audio totally just glitched out on me. I don't know what happened, so let's do it again, I guess. But anyways, so to start us off, I guess if there's one I'd say like maybe don't really go for, it probably just the SS Leon, right? Obviously, if you just love this guy, you've been hunting him for a while. Hunting him, that sounds a bit weird, but trying to get him for a while, and you just love Leon Eternatus, you could totally go for him, right? But I just say at this moment in time, he's not bad. He's definitely not bad. Like, I feel like a very underrated part of this unit is like Lucky 7 is really, really nice, man. 50% chance to debuff all 7 of these stats by 1, right, is pretty darn good, right? Especially for a striker like him, right? So that's really, really, really nice. And yeah, not saying this unit is like totally just outdated, because he's pretty old, right? For a unit on this banner, but he's still nice. He's still got uses. Some of the other ones are a bit the other units are a bit different, but he does also have his downsides. The main one being the obvious, the Dynamax Cannon, right? You do need the opponents to have a sync buff to get that extra 50% multiplier, which is pretty huge, right? Because if you do look at it, Dynamax Cannon, the base power itself isn't super high for like a 4-gauge move. It's not like low either, but yeah. And this unit, his special attack is only like 346, which isn't like low, but it's just like kind of average for like a striker damage dealer, right? And I'd say maybe even like slightly below average nowadays. And yeah, he just doesn't have much else to make up for. Like the multipliers, like Power Flux 3 is not that good. And then Hunter's Instinct, it is 30%, but it does need you to debuff speed, right, to 6 for 30%. I mean, you don't have to get it to -6, but still, right? If you just get this average rates, you get this, 1 trigger every other turn. That's like 12 turns to get it down over there, and then again, it's only like 30%, right? So overall, his debuffing thing is really, really nice. The damage is not that great, right? And if you look at some other dragon type damage dealers, like even this newer Leon, right? Also dragon type, also a debuffer, also a damage dealer. I'd say he's just better, right? Yeah, he's just better. Yeah, this one's just better. Oh, this one looks cooler, but yeah. Again, he's alright. You could go for him if you really, really like him, but otherwise I wouldn't really recommend. So, as for the other ones, who I would recommend would be, if you don't have her, right, and if you're still struggling, you want more really, really good rock-type damage dealers, I would highly, highly recommend SS Diantha. She is amazing. She's incredibly powerful. Y'all know how good Thunderbolt Red is. She's basically the rock version of that, right? You could say, I'd say she's just as good, right? Some might say she's, maybe not as good, but she's not far off. She's definitely not far off, right? Because she does basically what Thunderbolt Red does, all right, except like rock, and she is very, very good at that, right? Like, again, you don't have to be as good as Thunderbolt Red, right? Like, if you even put, like, if you could put a unit in the same sentence, right, when comparing to Thunderbolt Red, that's already a pretty big win, right? And I feel like she definitely deserves that recognition. Obviously, she sets and can extend Rock Zone, which is people see as like the big thing, which is true, right? It is the big thing, but like outside of that, right, she has so many other great things. She's very powerful Sync Nuke. Her regular DPS is really good, right? Every time that's an AOE defense debuff -2 every time you use that B Diamond Storm, right? And also buffs your teammates' defense by 2 at the same time, right? So especially, you know, if you're running with someone like the other Diancie, right, the special costume Hilda, that could be really good. You know, on top of that, she gets she gets a physical move up next as well on her trainer move at Mega. And, although I guess that's not like the best thing. Actually, no, that's not Mega. Oh yeah, it is. And yeah, outside of that, you could also AoE debuff opponents' speed, right? And if you Mega it, this could just trigger twice, right? That's AoE straight up. Yeah, it's self-sufficient, all that stuff. She just a lot of, you know, there's gauge stuff as well, right? I mean, B Diamond Storm itself is only like a 2 gauge move, so that was never like that big of an issue, right? Like, she's got a bunch of stuff, man, a bunch of stuff. You team crit buffs, right? Especially as a Mega, you get to trigger that again, right, twice. If you do Mega her, right? It's just, she has a lot of really great things. Again, don't get me wrong, I personally think Thunderbolt Red is better, right? But you know, she is very similar, right? In a lot of ways, does a lot of very similar things as Thunderbolt Red, right? Same with Countdown as well. Like, just a lot of really great things this unit does. Just fantastic. Even if you don't need that extra help for your rock units, this unit, just for her own sake, is just amazing, right? Amazing unit. And obviously, again, very good with a lot of the rock type, because like most of the rock type units in this game are physical. In fact, I think all of the, like, you know, non-Eggmon rock type damage dealers are physical, except for Cradaley, the Lodge Stephen. Alright, so highly recommend that Singsu Diancie, or Diantha and Diancie. But after that, it depends, right? Again, if you still need like more help with poison, because I do feel like there's a decent amount of like really good poison type damage dealers now, right? If you are still struggling with that, you could go with Emma. If not, I highly recommend Singsu, Brendan, and Latios as well, right? Let's talk about just Emma real quick first. Emma is amazing. She's just she's your big poison type damage dealer, right? You get her, and your poison type stages are not an issue anymore, like straight up, right? Beep cross poison, incredibly powerful. Her striker sync is super strong as well, right? She's very fast, incredibly fast. You know, good multipliers, all that stuff. Team speed buffs as well. You know, you got potions, head start 2, just straight up, right? Yeah, the sync is guaranteed crit. You get free move next against badly poisoned opponents, or badly poisoned opponents, right? Obviously, poison itself. You got adrenaline there. Yeah, just a lot of really great things for this unit. Very powerful, and yeah. As long as the stage can be poisoned, and if you're mostly using her against poison weak stages, most of the poison weak stages, if not all of them, can be at least poisoned, right? So yeah, it's just that like if you're fighting her against stages that can't be poisoned, she's basically useless, because that you need them to be poisoned to use her B move at all. But you know, if you can, again, incredibly powerful, super yeah, highly recommend this unit as well. But also, if you're fine with that, right, if you got like Oleana or whatever, right, you're good. Even like a Fall Iris or something like even like Singsu Nidoking, right? You could consider Singsu Brendan. Singsu Brendan is amazing. He's one of my most used units, right? Probably top 5 most used units since last year when he came out. You just use him like, yeah, in like 50% of your special teams. This guy is in there, right? Like he is the quintessential, like, you know, special support, right? He obviously buffs special attack, but outside of that, his Lesser Purge, right, debuffs opponent's special defense. It's guaranteed, but it's not 50% because of his passive, right? And then if you mega him, yeah, right, you also get guaranteed free revenge, right? So even though it's like, oh, it's a 3-gauge move, okay, but you get to use it for free. And also, even though his trainer move does cost gauges, it also gives your entire team free move next, right? So that's a very, very, very worthy exchange. He comes in, again, debuffs special defense. He gives you special move up next as well, right? Buffs your special attack, gauges, right? You know, buffs team speed, adrenaline, head start, all that stuff. Again, crit buffs. It's a mega. This, you know, activates twice. You got potions. Is pretty tanky, right? Like hostile environment on Dragon Breath. That's a really, really big one for Gauntlet stages. Impervious, right? Very powerful for stages like you know, Azalf or Regirock or whatever, right? So he's incredible. He's just does everything you want a special support to do. He does, right? So yeah, incredibly powerful. Highly recommend. Also, low key does very, very good damage in Psychic Terrain with that Lesser Purge. So yeah. After that, I guess, I'd say it's between Victor and Ingo. So if you have all the other ones, you could maybe consider Victor or Ingo. Ingo, even though he's like a very old unit, he's still very good, right? He's one of the older units on here, but he still hasn't aged that much. Obviously, he doesn't. If you compare him to like modern day supports, he doesn't have any of like the flashy stuff. He doesn't, you know, go out there and buff your special move up next by like 7 before you can even sing. He doesn't go down, you know, out there and give you -6 special defense debuffs in like 2 hits, right, or whatever. But he just does your standard, just basic support stuff which you want, right? Offense support, right? He buffs physical and special moves, right? Or not moves, but like physical and special attack. You know, you can max out a crit. Gives free move next for your entire team, and in Sandstorm, right, which you could at least use twice. If you get MP Refresh, you can use that more times, right? So that's very, very nice. Obviously, again, he has Sandstorm there as well, right? And Mudslap low-key pretty nice for like a 1-gauge move, right? 1-gauge spam on top of debuffing opponent's accuracy, right? I think you know, you could also buff your team speed with that as well. So yeah, you got potions, all this. Like he could tank pretty well in Sand. Yeah, he's still good, man. He's old, but he's still really good. And I think definitely worth considering as well. And then the other one is Victor. I feel like Victor is slightly underrated just because he's swimming in a sea of very powerful grass type physical damage dealer peers, right? But still, like the grass AOE, right? Max move, very, very powerful. Obviously, does piercing damage as well. And then on top of that, he has a very, very powerful AoE Striker Sync there too. So, you know, if he ever gets like a tech EX roll in the future, that's, you know, that's just a crazy AoE unit, right? Like 99% of like grass type stages will not survive that AoE tech sync plus another like AoE max move afterwards. So yeah, that's that pretty standard. You also have like ground type moves. It's not like that powerful, but if you do have like 5/5, you get like the free move next on every one of those, so that's nice, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's all these units, right? Again, I'd say if you do have the extra coins, right, it is, I'd say, definitely worth it. If you're missing, you know, some of the top units, I'd say at least like the first 3, right? Emma, Singsu Brendan, and Singsu Diantha. If you're missing those, or one of those, I definitely recommend it. Again, if you have the extra coins. If you don't, then obviously you don't, right? And yeah, again, it's paid gems, so if you don't have that, don't worry. Spend your Spend your gems on the anniversary units. I promise you they are also very powerful, if not better. Right? So, yeah, good luck. You could also get them on the 25 pulls there as well. It's just very, very low chance, right? So you might as well just not consider those chances. Again, just not even 2 multis for a guaranteed incredibly powerful Pokefair unit over here is incredibly, very, very much worth it. I'm not going to do a pull here, not because I'm trying to, be cheap and save on gems. In fact, if there was some other Pokefair on here, I would definitely pull. It's just that I have every single one of these 5 out of 5, so there's no point for me really pulling here, unfortunately. But or fortunately, it's because that saved me 5k gems. But anyways, good luck. You guys are pulling all that stuff. And yeah, we'll talk about the anniversary banner, select banner later. It's just I have a lot of videos to do tonight, so all right, have fun, folks. Good luck, like, subscribe, all that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.